Most people are born, you coalesced, rolling around in the storm tops like a loose piece of hail until the weight of the zephyrs could no longer keep you aloft. The wind howled across your face, eyes stinging from the buffering force. Tumbling from the sky along with bolts of lightning, you dropped into a swamp. Trees split, the landscape gave away. Where there was once a dense canopy, now is a hole of thunder lightning shining down on the crater that you were pressed into. The fall was a mere inconvenience to your bare body. The swamp held you fast within its muds and quicksands. Gasping for breath, rushing realization of life, you pass out. Your flesh is new but your soul is ancient. Your mind has been untethered from its past lives' experience yet is imprinted with arcane spells of this land. Multitude of languages fill your mind as you sleep in the mud, Draconic, Dwarven. You can even whisper to the winds or talk to the common man. Whomever you spoke to, could not even tell him your own name, for you know it not. Rustling of tiny bones, chiming of metallic strips aroused you. A native ripped away some scrub brush to get a better foothold at the hill over top of you. Working her way down the hill in her left hand is a majestic staff. The right hand she uses to grasp any vegetation to support her climb. You attempted to pull yourself from the mud. Below your right knee the ground was as dense as granite. Your left limbs could pull free from the suction if you had leverage. The swamp shadows did well at hiding her striking beauty. It became more apparent as she entered into the crater. Now filled with water as you slept, the 8-foot crater scared the swamp. Muttering and jabbering, pointing at the sky, she is confused and excited. She stepped in the quickmid toward you and grimaced at the shallow puddle. Babbling in some strange local tongue, the bonny hag stumbled about picking vines to rope you out. SS's see what we have Harris. A lord python approached talking to itself. Yellow and green scales, he puffed himself up when he saw the hag. Pulling his full length from the underbrush then curled up on a log. The bonny hag hopped, spit toward the snake, shaking her staff, and looked at you with panic on her face. Lord Python paid little attention to the hag once he realized the hole in the forest canopy, and the pit you rest in are plots from the gods. SSSOW home is this one SSS? He asked himself. I have no title as of yet, large one. You responded. He pulls his head back in surprise when you speak Python. The hag collected the vines needed, then slung them across the quickmid at you. The sky fell, said Lord Python. He stretched his head down to the water, flickered his tongue. You again wrestled with the earth to be set free. Yet any foothold or handy leverage just sank into the swamp. Lord Python. SS she thinks SS I am here to eat you. You. Well, are you? Python. From the way I SS see it, the gods just might owe me a favor if I stand you up today. You understand what she says? Lord Python. It's a local language. I've already gathered you're not from around here. With the hag still jumping, screaming and spitting curses, Lord Python slithers across the mud. You considered your options. Struggling for the vines or allowing the python to embrace you. Before you had a chance or the strength, the python was upon you, circling you, flicking his tail upon your torso, riding it down into the mud. He breaks the suction the earth holds upon you. Flailing and squirming in the mud, to python pulls you toward the hag's vine. Lord Python slithered off, muttered, the gods will know me today. The bonny hag grabs you by the elbow and begins to lead you up the hill. As you travel, she pulls together leaves and twine to try and cloth your muddy body. A bit confused about where you're going and what is next, you arrive at a berry patch. The first nourishment is exhilarating and the thorns were plentiful. Arriving at the berry patch for a few other locals, all women, baskets and hands ready to harvest the fruit. They saw your approach and were shouting, excited as the hag welcomed them with a wave. The village was just beyond the berry patch. Not all the bungalows were in conditions to be lived in. Much of the village was dilapidated yet decorated.